Welcome to Constitutional Truth. I'm your host, Shar. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about some more local issues to Abilene. It also affects Texas, but specifically with Abilene. Abilene, Texas has two school districts within the city. Taylor County has lots of school districts, but um, Abilene has two, Wylie ISD and Abilene ISD. And this week on the 9th, Wylie ISD held an emergency meeting, I guess, of the school board to vote on the issue of face masks. And as some of you know from my video that I did about the Cathedral of the Mask Holes, this has been a bone of contention, of course, amongst those who are a member of the cathedral and those of us who are just want to be left alone and make our own decisions. While it shouldn't be a big deal, apparently it is for a lot of people. I believe in individual liberty and individual freedom, and that we should all have a choice. All of this, rather, stems from Governor Abbott rescinding the mask mandate statewide, but that rescission, or whatever whatever that would be, lifting that mandate, that executive order, essentially transferred the authority back onto the people and to businesses. But government institutions, of course, have to make their own decisions. School districts, in my personal opinion, should not be allowed to go against that mandate because they are funded by taxpayers. In the same way that local governments can't go against the mandate, but I guess they're different things. So anyway, Wylie ISD held a board meeting, and some parents showed up, and as it shows here, that starting after spring break, we're currently in spring break, they will be optional. It's not saying that no one can wear them. It's saying that they will no longer be mandatory. So anyone who wishes to wear one, staff or faculty or student alike, can choose to, but that those who choose not to will no longer be mandated to wear them. It was a narrow vote, 4-3. There were parents who attended, or I'm assuming they're parents. There were people who attended who discussed during the open comments that they held prior to the vote, which I find to be very important here, that it happened that way. In a totally unrelated issue, there was a local city council meeting where a city council person was meant to be taken to censure for some behavior of his, and open comments were not allowed to happen before. And there were some really BS procedural rules that were held to disallow open comments occurring beforehand. And unfortunately, I think had the open comments been allowed, it could have affected the outcome of the censure vote, although then again may not have. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So the parents were allowed to speak, and then the vote was held. And again, it said it was very narrow. And part of the vote was to allow any upcoming changes to reside with the superintendent alone, rather than having to take it to the board, which I guess is okay. But as I said, this is within Taylor County and within the city limits of Abilene, a separate school district. Well, then we come over here and find that the Abilene School District has decided that they're going to continue with their face mask mandate. And their reasoning is very misleading. I call it lying by omission. This is their statement. Okay. Of course, they're using the moral emotional and moral authority thing of our goal every day in the Abilene ISD is the health and safety of our students and staff, and because that is our priority, we will continue to maintain our current health and safety protocols throughout the rest of the school year. This includes the continued use of face masks for all students and staff. Wednesday, the Texas Education Agency released guidance that said schools must continue to require masks unless local school boards decide to change the rules. That is true. But let's look at, and this is repeated here, but let's look at the official statement from Abilene Independent School District. When the Abilene ISD opened the 2020-2021 school year, it did so with health and safety guidelines in place that the administration and board of trustees, with the advice of local health and medical advisors, believed would keep students and staff as safe as possible during the COVID-19 pandemic. While many school districts across the country have remained closed to in-person learning, the Abilene ISD successfully opened schools and has kept them open throughout the year, thanks in part to the safety protocols currently in place, including the wearing of face coverings. Texas Education Agency guidance released Wednesday afternoon said, every student, teacher, or staff member shall wear a mask over the nose and mouth. End quote. Our goal every day in the Abilene ISD is the health and safety of our students and staff, and because this is our priority, we will continue to maintain our current health and safety protocols throughout the rest of the school year. This includes the continued use of face masks for all students and staff as we move through the final weeks of school. We will continually evaluate our procedures to determine if there are additional ways to provide opportunities for our students and staff while continuing to maintain our existing health and safety protocols. Every student, teacher, or staff member shall wear a mask over the nose and mouth. That's the only portion that they chose to quote from Texas Education Agency. Well, let's look at what, and they're referring to Wednesday. This presser from Abilene ISD was from March 5th. TEA issued a presser on Wednesday, 3/3, the day after Governor Abbott did his presser, saying on the 10th, blah, blah, blah. This one on March 3rd from TEA, Texas Education Agency, it talks about Governor Abbott. As a result of the lifting of the orders on masks, TEA has updated its public health guidance, which I pull up over here. Under this updated guidance, a public school system's current practices on masks may continue unchanged. Doesn't say shall, doesn't say must, says may. Local school boards have full authority to determine their local mask policy. So, right here in the presser, TEA says that they do not take authority over this, that they're giving it to the local independent school districts. That's what the I stands for, independent. TEA has also made updates related to surface cleaning requirements and so on and so forth. So let's look at this public health guidance. Oh, pardon me. That has right here with TEA, where it's underlined. That's a hyperlink. Let's go look at it. I jumped straight down to page 7. That is relevant. Okay. Health and hygiene practices masks. For the purposes of this document, masks include non-medical and medical-grade disposable face masks and cloth face coverings over the nose and mouth. So basically, useless and semi-useful crap to cover your face. Full face shields may be used in place of a mask to protect eyes, nose, and mouth whenever a mask is not feasible or whenever the education context may benefit from the ability to see an individual's full face. Schools must comply with the following requirements. This is the portion. Oh, it's not going to highlight for me because of what we're in. Here we go. This is the portion that Abilene ISD chose to highlight. Every teacher, student, or staff member And they even put a period as if it were a complete sentence. But it's not. When inside a school building, school facility, facility used for school activities, or when in an outdoor space on school property or used for school activities, whenever it is not feasible to maintain 6 feet of social distancing from another person not in the same household, provided, however, that this mask requirement does not apply to the following. Any person younger than 10 years of age, except where a school system determined it is developmentally appropriate. Any person with a medical condition or disability that prevents wearing a mask. Any person while the person is consuming food or drink or is seated in a dining area to eat or drink. Any person while the person is A, exercising outdoors or engaging in physical activity outdoors. And B, maintaining a safe distance from other people not in the same household, or any person while the person is giving a speech or for a broadcast or to an audience. The above mask wearing requirements do not apply to any school system that was exempted from the face covering requirements of Executive Order GA29 during its effect due to a county judge attestation filed with the Texas Division of Emergency Management. The governing board of a school system may modify or eliminate by formal action the above mask-related requirements. I'm going to say that again. The governing board of a school system may modify or eliminate by formal action the above mask-related requirements. In addition to the mask-wearing requirements listed above, school systems may require the use of masks or face shields for adults or students for whom it is developmentally appropriate. It may be impractical for students to wear masks or face shields while participating in some non-UIL athletic or other extracurricular activities in situations where masks are required by this guidance, and when it is impractical for students to wear masks or face shields during those activities, schools must require students, teachers, staff, and visitors to wear masks or face shields when entering and exiting facilities and practice areas and when not actively engaging in those activities. Schools may, for example, allow students who are actively exercising to remove masks or face shields as long as they maintain at least 6 feet of distance from other students, teachers, and staff who are not wearing masks or face shields. However, schools must require students, teachers, and staff to wear masks or face shields as they arrange themselves in positions that will allow them to maintain safe distancing. I cannot abide lying by omission. And this right here, Texas Education Agency guidance released Wednesday afternoon said that is not what it says. This right here does not say that. This right here does not say that. But this right here from Wylie ISD is telling parents, and right here, where it's on the news and copied verbatim, is telling students, parents, and faculty, and without a link, neither the news nor the Abilene ISD bother to put a link to the presser or to the public health guidance. They are lying by omission. They are relying on the authority, their authority, the ISD's authority. We're the educators. We're smarter than you. We have a piled higher and deeper, a PhD. I am a doctor of education. I know what's right. I know what's best. And you will listen to me, peasants, and you will do what I say. I say that the TEA said this, and therefore you'll believe it and you'll abide. Well, my friends here in Abilene, the 15th of March this coming Monday, Abilene ISD has a school board meeting. I encourage all of you, whether you have children in the school or not, because you're paying property taxes, you're paying for it. If you want to join us in showing up to the school board meeting and letting them know, whether you agree with masks or not isn't the question here. If you want to let them know that you don't like having the community lied to by omission, and that this is not what the TEA said, and that they are obligated to listen to the public, listen to the parents, listen to the students, listen to the staff, and not just make arbitrary decisions based on lies, join us. Come out there and let them know, because this is absolute ridiculousness and it needs to stop. Thank you so much for your time. You know what to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.